Hi, welcome back to Let's Play SimCity 4, where it's a beautiful day here in Prospect Bay. Well, I just started recording this episode a minute ago, but I made a bit of a mistake, forgot to turn down the music, and, well, I've gotten the comments saying that my voice can get a bit drowned out by it. My microphone isn't too great, so I just went back and started over. Anyway, this episode we're going to revisit this first intercity road that we built in the region. As you can see from the mini-map here, if you're familiar with what Happy Valley looked like before, there's already been a fair bit of development linked to this highway. Over here there are some farms and a couple houses. They haven't developed yet because I'd forgotten to give them power when I last let the time run in this town. As you can see, we remedied that already with a little cell phone tower there. It's a mod by, or a custom lot by Matt B325. It's a great small-scale power plant, very similar to the Maxis wind turbine, but of course it's better because it's custom content. Yep, following this road through town, not too much has changed in town itself, unless maybe there's been a bit of gentrification. And I just noticed that there are some problems with no workers around the farms in this area, so I zoned for a few new houses out in the sticks here. Yep, and over here, quite a few new farm lots. Very few of them had any workers, so I also zoned for a couple houses around here. I really, this area really could use more now that I think about it. So I'm just going to go do that really quick. There we go. It's not the biggest change, but it should do something to solve a problem. Alright, following the road out a bit more, there are a few more houses and farms and another cell phone tower. Very closer to Honey Valley than anything else, to be honest, even though this city tile doesn't directly border that one. So anyway, I also wanted to do some improvements on this roadway, because frankly, I've been a little bit sloppy compared to the road I did later, so I think I can do better. One of the more simple parts of that is to just replant some of the trees that I had to destroy. And ooh, they're a little bit out of sync with the other seasonal trees, but I know I'm at the right time of year, so I'm not being bothered too much. The other ones should all change in a couple of weeks anyway. Hopefully this will never look too out of place. The fact that the seasonal trees aren't quite lined up. Alright. Well, it doesn't look like too much, but hopefully it should be something for getting rid of some of the contrast I was seeing on the region view to have these trees in place. Let's see if we can't get a few red trees scattered somewhere else too, just so it doesn't look too obvious that we planted them out of sync along the highway. Yeah. And I mean, this graphical bug is still happening. I was just trying some more things to fix it, but I'm not going to spend hours and hours at a time when I would prefer to actually be playing SimCity just to deal with something that's relatively inconsequential. I mean, it's definitely not helping this LP at all to have that bug, but it's not really that big a deal. So anyway, that's pretty cool with the trees, and I can fit some more over here, it looks like. Don't need too many around here, but I think I'll plant a couple just because. Over there's cool too. Again, trying to spread around the number of red trees. Out of sync seasonal trees, just make it look a teeny bit more natural. Okay. So, in particular, the improvement I was thinking about was... Well, first let's check on traffic in this town of Happy Valley. Is there congestion still? Nah, it doesn't look like there's congestion too much, but certainly I don't think the residents of this town are really going to be so hot in any case on the idea of the state highway just running through the center of town and on a normal street with no greater capacity than any other residential street. So, following the way I've seen this problem dealt with in real life, where state highways run through towns on network streets, I'm gonna upgrade the highway alignment to a higher standard than the streets around it. Yep, and the road does not go straight through there. That would be an obvious choice where the alignment should go. You could just run straight toward this axis and then continue on out of town, but that's not how it's going to work this time. So, first let's carefully demolish the street. Well, yeah, sorry if this takes a moment. For some reason I'm getting a little bit of lag here. I think maybe it has to do with the particle effects from, what do you call it? Oh yeah, from the smokestacks. Can't believe I forgot the word smokestack for a moment. Alright. So we can safely start out like this. Now let's load the road out like that. That's not quite how we want it. Always have to be careful with auto-extending streets. Probably take care of those. I can just extend them out like this. I'm not going to have fancy intersections along this road. Yeah. That's a good start. Now, I'm not sure if you can draw a diagonal road across diagonal streets, but I'm going to give that a try here if I can. So, first, wait a minute, did I have... Actually, you know what, never mind that. I thought there was another road there than there was. I know there's a better way to do this than that. Huh. Maybe I can draw it. Yeah. There we go. Upgrading those to smoother curves is just the same as it is with streets, apparently. It's pretty easy to fix up there. So I really can't just do that. Or do that the way I can with the street. Is there a ploppable piece I could use for that? Yeah, wide radius road curve. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Nice. So, just demolish this street out a bit. And now that we're out beyond the built-up area a little bit, this road is going to start transitioning to RHW2 with shoulders instead of sidewalks. In fact, I might as well just demolish the rest of this street all the way to the other end. Oh, can't do that. There, I got it now. Whoop, get rid of that too. You know, I think it actually might be cheaper to destroy streets using the D-zone tool than the bulldozer tool, with the cost of 1 per tile that you want to destroy instead of 2. Oh, damn it. Looks like I destroyed a tile of farm there. Oh, well, maybe I'll replace it with a bus stop or something. Maybe rotate one more time, just get a better view of what's going on here. Oh no, I destroyed a tree I didn't want to destroy. Oh well. Let's get rid of the last portion of this street. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Boom, boom, boom. Ha. Whoop. Yeah. That's how I like to see it. Huh. I think we'll have a little stretch of road here. Yeah, it's going to be road for all this area. Just because there's a bit of a... might as well do that. Have a little bit of shoulder space right there. Just give people a little space to pull over in case their car stalls or something. Yeah, might as well do a road for this whole area too. There we go. I mean, there are just enough buildings that need road access that, you know, I wonder if it's really worth the effort it takes to make it anything else. So let's see if that hooked up to our HW2 neatly. Looks like it did indeed. Nice. So for our first step, let's make sure that all of our desired curves are in place. Boom. One of them goes there. Oh, another stretch of road there. Definitely can't afford to forget that. So let's get those 2x2 wide radius curves in place too. There we go. Street didn't have curves there before, but I mean, this is a highway. You can't really afford to not have that stuff. Oops. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to... Oh no, let's do the road. Looks like I'm gonna have to rebuild that road really quick. Oh. There we go. Yep, that's how we want it to hook up. Alright, now we can use RHW2 for the... Oh, oops. Oh yeah, and it does hook up diagonally just fine, so we'll have plenty of wide shoulder space in this agricultural area. Yeah, that needs to be a road. Yep. Plenty of zones for passing and pulling over and whatnot. Alright, well, gotta say the presence of that road certainly changes the look of things around here. And especially in town, it really gives central access a little bit more definition. Not that it really needed it with all the big buildings being around it. Yep, and it hooks up very smoothly to the highway out here, so it'll be much easier for travelers to tell their way when they get into the built-up area now. And because we probably have plenty more time, I think I'm going to just take this opportunity to save, and we'll move on to make similar improvements in the subsequent tiles. Yeah, I'm back, and we are just on the other side of the city tile border from Happy Valley in Cemetery Hill, right next to the highway entrance to Honey Valley over here. And just occurred to me while the city tile was loading, we have some very flat terrain over here, and development directly on both sides of the border of this corner, so seems like it would make a lot of sense if we develop this area with a little bit of agriculture. How about like that, and that, and this should not take too much to get active. Just one little curved road right there should be all the access it needs. Maybe a little house or two for the farmers. And this whole area, I also noticed, I forget whether I developed it on camera or off, but it's the exit from the highway leading to Honey Valley, as I just mentioned earlier. And it looks like we forgot to give it power. So let's place a little cell phone tower, say, over here should be good enough, and that will solve all our problems. Something else I wanted to do really quick here, blowing my mind for now, so won't sweat it. Instead, we'll continue down the highway towards Cemetery Hill. And over here, as you can see, oh boy, damn glitch. As you can see, we've got a similar deal with Happy Valley, with the, aw man, damn bug. Yeah, there's just one access through town, and the highway apparently runs along it. Although, in this case, I'm not sure that we're going to have the state route run directly through the center of town here. I think we just may have it take this outer neighbor connection to the next town over, which, by the way, you haven't seen yet, but it's a site where development has recently been spurred on by the completion of this road nearby. So I'll give you a peek at that as soon as we finish upgrading the road toward it. Oof. This doesn't actually need to be a road anywhere except in front of these buildings, so I think I'm gonna... actually, it is probably most convenient just to have it like this. Yeah. Oh damn, that's not quite. Maybe I could, yeah. Yep. It's a little bit crooked right there, but I don't think anybody's gonna die because of that. And extend our RHW2 in the same way. Another crooked street entrance. Yeah. That should be good for our highway. We can realize the day-night cycle went on. Yeah, let's not worry about building upgrading the road through Main Street there. little bit too many graphical bugs for my taste in that direction, so instead, let's just go on to the next town. Welcome to Tidewater. It's the youngest and westernmost city in the Port Deliverance, Happy Valley, Honey Valley, Cemetery Hill swath of development here in Northeast Prospect Bay. And as you can see, it's located on a slice of quite flat coastal land. And man, this bug, I hadn't seen it in this city yet, so I thought I was perhaps safe, but I guess that was too much to expect. Let's rotate the camera so we won't have to go up and down quite as often. It seems to cause the bug quite a bit more often than just going left and right. But yeah, it's mostly an agricultural place, but it's got a decent looking built up area. I like the shape of the blocks, and it's got a cool park with diagonal walkways. All very nice, plenty of playgrounds. Not too much going on here. It's although I guess there are a few things of note in addition to the park. There's this little beach area that I built, which I believe I actually want to improve a little bit. Yeah, so might as well do that now. Go to our parks menu. These are the path parks, I think they're called. They're from Peg. I don't think they're the most realistic lots, but no, they're decent. Well, no, they're called trail parks. I want the trail park cross intersection. I know there must be a there it is. Just gotta have a fountain for it. Yeah, I wanted to have a couple of trails leading out of that little walkway into the beach. You can see it's got a couple small parking lots too. No more than you would need in a very small community like this with ample street parking for overflow. Yep. Got a pretty decent bus system around here. And I guess oh man, I love this farm a lot. I didn't really notice it before. Rainbow trout fish farm. That's awesome. Yeah, these little lakes, I know they look a bit derpy. They were made using the God Mode terrain tool. Basically, when I was looking at the preview of what the terrain would be like on the region map, it looked like there would be tons of small lakes along the coastal flats. But when I actually loaded up the tile, the lakes were so shallow that there was no water in them. So I decided to make my own lakes using the God Mode terrain tools, and frankly, I'm not sure I'm really happy with how they turned out as far as realism. So it's very likely I'm going to go in and heavily modify these, maybe replace all of them altogether with ploppable water. I've just learned how to use ploppable water recently, and I'm loving the effects I'm getting. In fact, you know what, I might as well demonstrate that by... there's no real room on this tile, but next time I record, I'll definitely demonstrate my new ploppable water skills. I think I've been creating some pretty cool lakes. You might have noticed a couple of them in Happy Valley, actually, if you were observant enough. But yeah, so basically last time we determined that this neighbor connection would be the main route for the highway through this area, which makes perfect sense. It will unfortunately have to bypass just outside of Tidewater then, but we'll go through this small part of the town at least. Yeah, and actually, you know what, I might just have it, there's no real good route, there's no perfect route for this highway, to be honest. I may rearrange this road and have the highway come along the coastal alignment through the town, only because I intend to continue it one day along the coast. Not that there is anything to connect it to in that direction there now, at least not for miles and miles. Yep, this shallow lake is the only one of the lakes that came with the Terraformer map that actually showed up on camera, so yeah, like I mentioned, I was a bit disappointed about that, but you know, it's not really a big deal. So we got traffic volume through here. As you can see, people don't use the diagonal roads too much, even though it's probably the most prominent axial direction in my scheme. Just due to the physics of this game, they aren't as useful for The Sims. Yep, most of the traffic seems to be, this lake definitely does a lot to impede the normal flow of traffic. But yeah, that's why you build them right, to make things interesting. Anyway, there's really not too much more to do here. I mean, this is, as I said, the western terminus of the highway, so there are no improvements to be made necessarily in these city borders until we build further down. Or further out, I mean. So yeah, that's about it for this episode. Next episode, I think we're going to be building a new road altogether in another part of this region you haven't seen yet. Either that, or just developing a new town or two in this area. Whichever it ends up being, I'm sure it'll be a blast, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned. See you next time.